for no reason. Hey guys, welcome back. Let me make sure that it's recording. Yep. Okay, so we were talking about ironic process theory and how it could be used in fiction. And we talked about how it could be used to confuse people, to incite fear, and to cause distress. So we talked about how it would be a really shitty supervillain and a really shitty superhero. I mean, a villain could probably do more with it, but I feel like it has potential to be used in a hero. I just haven't really thought of how it would work. I mean, you could use it against a villain in the same way you could use it against the hero, with enough vague images that are vaguely described but really, like, elaborate in their own mind. It would get at them, I suppose. If they cared about anything, you'd have to figure out what that was.
They're one and only. The girl.
If they have one. I mean, like, in The Dark Knight, Harley Quinn isn't a thing, so it was just the Joker. He didn't really have, like, a girl.
Then it would have been the butler. I feel like he would have lost his shit over the butler.
You mean
Alfred?
Batman?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, I mean, yeah, Batman had Rachel. I mean, that Joker did that with the Rachel thing. But I mean, for the Joker, like, if you were a good guy, let's say this was one of Batman's abilities.
I don't feel like the Joker. It's hard for villains, because villains don't have a lot of, they don't get attached.
I don't know, it depends on, like, who the villain is. Like, Sandman loves his daughter, or whatever, in the Spider-Man 3 movie.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze has a wife.
True, that's his whole motivation. That's a good one. Wow, yeah. You got me with that one. That one was really...
It's something.
Okay, Two-Face had Rachel as well. Too many people have Rachel.
But they wouldn't threaten. Batman wouldn't threaten her.
Oh, well... Oh, you're right. Or would he? Nope, he wouldn't. Dang. Huh. Well, shouldn't... Huh. I guess Batman is bad to say, because even if Batman had that power, which everyone has the power, is ironic processing, it's just a way of speaking, I guess he wouldn't use it that way. I don't know, he threatens to break people's legs, but I guess he isn't the type of guy who makes you think about your family dying, kind of thing. That's kind of personal for him. Oh, dude, that's really dark. I thought about Frustration Man being like, don't imagine your family being mangled by a train, and then Batman's like, I already experienced worse, and like, hits the shit out of him, but takes it really personally and just starts beating him to death. It'd be really bad.
That would be.
Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, you go, Hannah. Don't imagine dead puppies.
Okay.
Okay, what are you imagining?
I'm looking at you, Melissa.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. Don't imagine a gay giraffe.
I'm imagining is really cute puppies. And me being drunk and trying to take them all.
Don't imagine a white werewolf.
I see a white wolf.
Does it turn into a man?
No, it's so much that like, I love it.
Don't imagine Totoro.
Well, that's some bullshit.
Okay, I got her with Totoro.
You tell me not to imagine Totoro when I'm wearing a fucking Totoro shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the bullshit right there.
Got him.
Ow.
Hey, Hannah.
Ugh.
Don't imagine D's Nuts Tree Farm.
I don't even know what that looks like, so I can't imagine it.
Yeah, you can.
Ow.
I don't know what it looks like, but I imagine it as trees or something.
I imagine trees with balls hanging up. You just pick these nuts. These nuts, those nuts.
See, he did it.
All nuts.
But yeah, we're thinking about, like, fictional characters who would use ironic process theory, which is what that was, as a power, like, against people, to force them to, like, imagine things that would affect them in the middle of, like, a fight or a crime or something.
That would be weird. I don't know if I approve.
Oh, you would like Wayward. Wayward was cool. I'll tell you about that. Like now, I guess. So, the main... Oh, wait. You're brushing your teeth. After you brush your teeth...
I'm not brushing my teeth.
Oh. Oh, well, now I'm confused. Oh, do you mind if I have something to drink?
I only got water.
You only got water?
Well, no, I got orange juice too.
You mind if I have some orange juice?
Okay.
Oh, thank you kindly. Hey guys, Hannah will keep you entertained while I go drink some orange juice.
Entertainment.
Thank you.
Entertainment.
Oh, it's Hannah. How can I improve my friendship? I did a question.
I'm not entertaining.
I didn't get to do one with Hannah.
Entertainment.
How can I improve my friendship?
Entertainment.
Okay.
Hooray.
Well, no, you get a little like.
Entertainment.
You said I could have this before. And I'm like, bitch, that ain't how that works.
Okay.
There you go. That's all I needed.
Oh, thank you. Can I get it?
Entertainment.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna take it back.
I'm entertaining.
Hannah, guess what?
What?
I'm getting my tips done tomorrow.
I thought you were saying I'm getting my tits done. And I was like, what?
Did you know it would cost $6,900 to get liposuction in 3 places?
Yeah, it's pretty damn expensive.
Wait, are you getting liposuction in your boobs? No? You fucked with me. You said that I'm getting my tits done and you talked about liposuction.
Tits.
Oh!
You and Hannah both.
Did you also think she said tits?
Yeah, but I knew what she was gonna say, so.
Shit.
That would be a boob lift, if anything.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Success. I was putting a straw in some orange juice. Protein is important.
Yes. Peanut butter granola bars.
If you want really good granola bars for free, they have one at the philosophy department. So I recommend you only take 3 items a day. Because that's what I do. I try and make it fair so other people can get stuff. But it's free for students.
Cool.
They also have Capri Suns.
What time are you leaving?
Me? 11.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Damn it.
I gotta be in Georgia by 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Mm-hmm. I get my tips done at 12.
Hmm.
So snap a picture of me.
Cool. I will.
Oh, cool. Hey,
They're
you
going
guys,
for bleach blonde.
stay
Or,
tuned
well,
for...
grayish, but more content.
Yeah. Now, what was your
Not
question?
fucking orange.
You said red, didn't you?
Yeah. It's fucking orange.
In that light, I thought it was pink.
It's orange.
Yo, Jonathan, look.
If anything, I'd go with
What
burnt.
color is that jacket?
Burnt orange.
It is, but it's a shade of orange.
It's burnt orange.
That's orange.
See?
Man, you said orange because you walked through the room and you heard 2 niggas say orange. Mm-hmm.
Did you though?
That is a red jacket, bro. We went across the street, not across the street, across the hall, and they were like, hey, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Hold it up to like different color things. And they were like, nah, nigga, that's red. So they held it up to the orange ghost, and they were like, and they held it up to the red ghost, and they were like, wow, yeah, that's really red.
Well, girls have more colors than guys.
Told you.
Mm-hmm.
We have better color receptors.
Post in the comment section below about what
That's
color you
studies.
think the code is.
There's studies. Guys
Proven.
don't see blue, green, but on occasions. Girls will see the individual. This is why we have like lavender and shit. Like really, we go from
Women just see more colors than men do.
teal. We can go. This is off-white. This is
Yeah.
white. This is eggshell white.
Yeah.
Guys are like, it's fucking white.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a iffy white. Looks kind of like a dirty white.
Oh, dude, I fucked it up.
Yeah, you pushed it in.
I
didn't you?
think the thing is, guys can see the colors, but guys just don't care as much.
No,
Yeah.
they really can't. It's
No.
a scientific thing, like they can't see it.
The only reason why I feel Jonathan said that is because you named a bunch of colors that, like, me and him have totally seen. Like,
No, but
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's receptors in our eyes that We have a broader spectrum of colors.
Yeah, like, I believe you on that. But I feel like, Jonathan, let's say it was, like, the first time you'd ever heard this, right? And then you were like, you know, girls see, like, teal and lavender and blue-green. And I feel like Jonathan was like, wait a minute, I have seen all those colors.
Yeah, but we have the burnt orange, the red orange, because burnt orange and red orange are not the same thing.
No.
Which is,
Maroon and dark red are not the same thing.
yeah. Most guys are like, that shit, I don't care.
No.
It's an orange. Shit's given. What?
I don't know. I still don't feel like the jacket's a burnt orange. Because I feel like this is a burnt orange.
That's
No.
not, that's orange.
That's just.
That's not just straight
That's
orange.
just orange. Orange.
Nah, see? This is straight orange.
No, that's neon orange.
Yeah, that's fluorescent orange.
Okay. How would you describe the orange tint on the top of this?
The orange tint.
Yeah, see this no pulp label right here?
Course? I don't know.
Coarse?
I don't know the color.
That's
for
like
it.
a texture.
I wouldn't
description.
call it orange, and I wouldn't call it red orange.
What? You wouldn't call
It's
it
like in
orange?
between orange and red orange.
To me, it's kind of like a brownish, like, darker, I'd almost describe as, like...
I want to say
Burnt
brownish.
See, this says different shades of burnt orange.
There are different
there.
shades of
That's-
burnt
That's the
orange.
color of my jacket.
That's coat.
That's the color of my coat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's our coat color.
No.
It so fucking is.
You're saying the fourth one is the coat?
Yes, because it is.
No.
It is.
Jonathan, look at the phone and look at the thing.
Alright.
That. See, there you go. Nothing.
They're saying the fourth one is the coat.
Because it is.
It's not.
It totally actually is.
Yeah.
I disagree.
You just suck.
Mm-hmm. Get nowhere.
I think I have the zombie disease.
You mean TMJ?
Yo, Hannah,
Because I have
Hannah.
TMJ.
don't imagine yourself as a zombie.
No, I imagine myself as Totoro.
Don't imagine yourself as the girl from Spirited Away. I forgot her name, but I think it means 10,000.
Now, okay, so you said that, and now I remember Kiki's delivery service, because I couldn't remember the girl's name. And I was like, I'm Kiki!
Okay, don't imagine Star Wars.
That's easy, okay.
Okay.
The
don't-
Hunger Games, what?
Don't.
That's coming out this Friday? Friday?
Yeah.
Friday.
You mean tomorrow.
I'm not that excited about it for real.
Neither am I just want it to be over with.
Don't
Yeah.
imagine the color blue.
Okay, I'm sure.
Don't imagine chocolate.
Okay.
Don't imagine Korean abs.
Korean abs or apps? Because I saw abs.
Abs was the one I said.
Yeah. And then I thought about all the Korean apps I just downloaded. If you guys ever get a chance, watch Running Man on Viki.com.
Okay.
It's a whole subtitle. You subtitle your own. So they have English, Spanish, Dutch. I don't know the fuck other ones. I just care about the English, and I fucking hate the Spanish because they all have 100.
To go on Viki.com and find some shit and write whatever we want, bro.
People can
Yeah.
change it.
I know.
But don't do that to the Korean stuff. Do it to Japanese
That would
or
be amazing.
Why the
Taiwanese.
Japanese?
Do Taiwanese then.
Yeah, let's do a language nobody gives a shit about.
I know somebody who's Taiwanese.
I feel like at least 3 members of the audience were like, really, nigga? Least favorite character, Jonathan.
Really?
So now we're having a poll right now?
Oh yeah, post in the comment section below who you think is your favorite character in Nickabenson vlogs. Don't pick me.
You really think I'm the least favorite character in your blog, bro?
No, I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
there were at least 3 people who were Taiwanese who were like, really, nigga?
I never
Really?
said Taiwanese was like least giving a shit about language. There's definitely some shit elsewhere Or there's like one person who speaks it, and we're like 97 years old or some shit.
Are you kidding me?
No.
No, not you. I'm reading an article, and this girl was banned from going on a school field trip because she has diabetes. And
What?
the school said that they didn't have the means to accommodate her because they would be in the woods, which is stupid. Because if her diabetes is under control, it's not an issue for real. Like,
I don't know. I feel like I want more details. I want to know what the school
That's-
thought they needed to accommodate it.
they said they needed cell phone service in case of an emergency, which is BS.
Did you hear about the guy that, he's co-founder of Beats, and he works with Apple, and he insulted women? He works with the Apple Music,
Yeah.
and he was like, you know, I think girls would probably use it more often because they're crying about boyfriends and gossiping about boys, to where I don't think they'd have time to pick their own music.
Yeah, because that's all we do.
I know.
First nigga was Facebook, second nigga was Twitter. I did a petition about Microsoft recently. Now Apple, why big ass technology firms?
Because there aren't any women working for them. Because women aren't in those fields.
YouTube. CEO's a woman.
Yeah. But, I mean, you know, they don't.
Oh no, they don't.
Women don't typically work in those fields.
Because they're all. Never mind.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for.
Take me. Fuck that shit. Or if I'm in it, I'll watch it. Not really, because I don't really watch yours.
Okay, why should people pick you as their favorite character on Nickabenson vlogs?
Because it's me. With it, right? I probably offended too many people, to be honest. I don't know how I offended people, but I feel like I offended someone eventually in the corner. Sorry if I've ever
In the
offended
corner.
you.
She's like, I see you in the corner, and there's one guy watching it who's like, she knows. I always watch it in the corner.
I know everything. No, I don't. But I wish I did. No, I don't. I don't give a shit.
So man, why should people vote you as their favorite character on Nickabenson vlogs?
I don't know. Am I? I don't know. I mean, I'm okay. I don't want to say I'm the best. Because, I ain't about that.
Oh my gosh, it all clicked. Hannah, you need to meet Adam Holman.
Me?
Yes, that is your destiny.
Why?
Because
Because why?
passenger.
Is he hot?
You would enjoy Adam.
Is he hot?
In ways more than one? Or just conversation?
As soon as you said, I don't want to say I'm the best, because I'm not about that, I was like, dude, Adam, bro. That's Adam. Adam channeled himself through you.
But
and I
is he
was
hot,
like,
though?
Whoa, nigga. Dude.
Dr. Pepper.
Not answering
Product
my
placement.
question. Is that a no?
I thought you said you didn't care about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper.
Jonathan got you with that. Ba-da-da.
Hey, it helps. I mean, first meeting you, if you're attractive to look at, I can get away with all of the whole nerdy concept of what you're doing. Like, I really like your lenses. What?
I may have met him before. What does he look like?
He's cool as fuck. I'll show you a picture later.
I mean, shit.
Adam is cool. You go, Adam. You're amazing. Universal Minds. Only certain people will know what that is. Actually, I'll give you guys a little story time. Once upon a time during the summer mini-mester, I hung out with James, Brooklyn, and Adam. And I used to talk about how what if life
was like a television show. And we would talk about our subplots all the time and what's going on in our lives as if it was a show. And I also started hanging out with Lydia and Jordan, and we would also do that. And essentially, that was like the pre-thing before the vlog. A matter of fact, as the vlog became more like Universal Minds, we would talk about our lives, but we would talk about it as in like, yo, what has been happening to you for the last few episodes? And you would describe your life as if it was a show, and you'd like give us a summary breakdown kind of thing. And we'd try and help each other to reach our goals. That's what the summer was like. That's really weird to think back on. Future me, when you watch this, is going to be like a flashback in a flashback of a flashback. So you should flashback.
I can still see you. That's funny.
Do you think my insurance covers a chiropractor visit? Probably not, right?
Do you think you could make a good bullshit?
Who's your insurance?
That's why you need to visit a chiropractor.
I fucking hurt. That's why I need to visit a chiropractor. That's a pretty good reason, I think.
Yeah.
Hannah's
Well,
like,
yeah.
why don't you let me massage your back? Thought
Well,
Hannah.
it's like my neck, like,
Free.
but like I don't need like I think I'm out of alignment. Like my spine
I
is like.
aligned my mom's back more than once. It's kind of sad. It's basically what you do is you place one hand like this, depending on which vertebrae and which way it's going. Place one hand like this, and then you push with this one, and it pops it back in.
Yeah.
It's bad, but I know that. It's bad.
I'm sure that's fine, but when you did that, I like dubbed over you. So in real life, it was like, and in my mind, it was like, and then you hit the brick, and it worked rather well.
I can tell
Don't
you-
think about sandwiches.
I am thinking about alignment.
A lion man?
Alignment.
Alignment. Don't think about the alignment of sandwiches.
I was thinking about the alignment.
Right.
Did you say frying cheese?
Dryer sheets. He's
Yeah.
entertained. Leave him be.
Don't think about mustard.
I just saw Jonathan in the chimney. Dryer sheets. You ran across the stage. I don't know why I have a stage right now, but you're dancing.
Did you say a chimney sweep?
Chibi.
A chibi. Oh.
I call it chibi.
Yo, Hannah. Don't think about cereal.
I found this cute vlog that they live in Korea. It's a Canadian woman and Canadian American, I guess. They're both Canadian, I think. Because he says A lot. And it's one of those things
A.
that I like.
B, C, D, E, F, G.
Okay, so where'd he go? Where are you?
Oh, it hurts.
Eat your kimchi.
Yes, laugh at my pain.
Well, you looked up, like, hello. And then you looked up, like, oh
Eat your
my
kimchi.
gosh! Like, it was a drastic change in face expression. It's like if I looked at you like this. And then I was like, ah!
What's up?
Eat your kimchi.
I have no idea.
Oh, do a promotion for it on the vlog so
Give me a
so
second.
other vloggers watch it.
You should watch it anyway. I don't have to give a promotion. It's funny. Okay.
Well, like, say the name again.
Give me a second.
Yo, Hannah, you have anything you want to promote? I'll take that as a no. Yo, Jonathan, you have anything you want to promote?
Let me think. Not really. Nothing I haven't already promoted on the vlog.
Okay, yo, you guys should play Card Fight Vanguard, and you should read the Image
Oh,
comic book
shit.
series Wayward, and you should. Did you spill water on the
No,
floor?
there's a bug.
Oh.
Ew, what kind of bug?
Small. I was gonna like
Either-
get
And
a
then
tissue
you
or
should
some shit,
also,
like, put it up,
No, I killed
I
it.
said
How
read
big is it?
Wayward,
It was like this big. It
watch
wasn't-
Card Fight, not watch.
What is
Well,
it?
the show's not that good. Play Card Fight Vanguard. Read the Wayward comic book series. I had more promotion. I'm not sure how well that'll show up. Screen brightness normally needs to be turned down for it to work really well. What was I thinking about? things to promote. I had stuff. Oh, watch Jessica Jones. That comes out very soon. By the time this episode's out, Jessica Jones will be out. You better watch it, bro. You'll have fun. I hope you have fun. If I don't have fun, I'll be disappointed.
I know, I'm like really hyped for it, to be honest.
Mhm.
Cause that shit looks good.
Mhm. Oh, and I
But,
didn't even
yeah.
realize that the Doctor Who guy was in it until Hannah lost her shit about
I
it.
know. I lost my shit too. I watched it, like the preview, the
Mhm.
trailer for it.
David Tennant.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for it, and I was like,
Yeah.
David Tennant.
I know, right?
And I went, what?
Yeah.
I like the fact that like their powers are like really big juxtapositions, and even though she could easily like crush him, she can't.
Yeah. I love the fact I want that power. Tell you what to do.
I don't know. I like ironic process theory. Anyone can do it. No one uses it. Yo, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Don't imagine ants.
Which kind of ants?
Have you imagined any kind at this point?
I imagined horrible Thanksgiving family reunions.
I see where he went there.
Family's big. Really big.
It's called Eat Your Kimchi and Simon and Martina.
Simon Martina.
I
They are
have laundry to go put in the dryer.
Okay, we'll see you when you get back, and we'll start Kill Bill back again.
And they travel around Korea.
21 minutes in.
Yeah.
Wow. They travel around Korea.
Mhm. They live there and they teach. Guys, I thought about changing my major
Okay.
to teaching English in Korea.
Okay.
I need a bachelor's.
Like English is
Okay.
the second language.
Mhm. You get a job anywhere in Korea teaching English.
Do I want water?
You get a job anywhere teaching English as a second language.
Oh.
Like anywhere.
I'm gonna have to
I know,
pause
but I want to go to Korea.
this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, I mean, you follow your dreams, bro. Flapping. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, 'cause I don't want to.
Stay tuned for.
More content?
Oh, don't look sad. Watch whatever the kimchi thing was. Eat your kimchi. Yeah, there you go. Can you give a few different uses? This time not Hannah, because you've already done this. For ironic process theory, and how a fictional character could use it to, like, do stuff. That being, you tell someone not to imagine something, thereby forcing them to imagine it.
How many? Or is there a limit? Or a minimum?
Oh, it's as many as you can think of.
Okay. That's when someone says something and you think of that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, because I don't really think it works, at least not on me. I mean, it works occasionally, but my brain doesn't stop. So, most of the time I'm not thinking about what I'm saying right now. Or ever. I guess you could do it to where someone, you tell them, hey, that's not an alien life form over there. And I mean, you know how, like, hey, look, but then, or when you say don't look, someone looks. I mean, that's kind of about the same thing. Because instead of it being ironic, and then you could hit them. If you're a superhero. Knock the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying?
What happens if they stare straight at you? I imagine you could hit them anyways, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but depending, I feel like it'd be cooler if you just, hey, look over there. Or don't look over there. Be like, what? Ah! And they walk away. I know, I'm a lame superhero. I would think that you could, I don't know. Truly, I don't know, because I'm not a person that could done that easily. I mean, you have to know the person, to be honest. If you knew the person, and you knew the triggers, like Totoro is a trigger for me. Or just Studio Ghibli as it is. Or the Galaxy. Or pretty much whatever I think of at that moment. Most people don't know that, because I don't know that. I could continue to talk, but I really I don't know. My jaw hurts.
Don't imagine salty.
I'll imagine what's me doing. As a fish.
Don't imagine Aquaman.
No, I imagine the girl from Pitch Perfect where she was like. And his hatred for the movie.
Hannah's what?
Hatred for the movie. She doesn't like it. I need a shirt. Nah, I got shirts at home.
Don't imagine your least favorite food.
I don't know. What is your favorite food?
Don't imagine your favorite food.
I don't have a favorite food.
Don't imagine food.
Okay. You literally just worked my way up to that one.
Okay.
I don't really have a favorite food. I'm fat. I'm supposed to have some kind of favorite food.
You don't have to be fat to have a favorite food. Like, I like
no,
honey.
but most people think, yeah, but you know how healthy that is. No, most people would think, hey, she likes donuts or cake. I actually have trouble eating.
Cake donuts aren't that good.
No, but I have trouble eating, period.
Oh, I just was making an observation because you said donuts and cake, and I was like, cake donuts. And I was like, they're not that good.
But yeah.
Don't think about your favorite song.
Okay.
Okay. Did you think about it?
I'm trying to think of if I have a favorite song.
Don't think about your least favorite song. This is our fight song or whatever.
Well, now that you said it, now I'm going to think about it, but...
Don't think
See, now you should have said that. Don't think about this is our fight song.
Well, I feel like making you dig helps. Because I was like, don't think about your favorite food. And it made you think, do I have a favorite food? So it seems like it's working. Like, because if you were trying not to think about it, it seems like the first thing you thought about was like, hold on, but what is that so I can not think about it? And I'm hoping that you'll dig it. Like, don't think about your favorite Studio Ghibli character. And then you had a moment where you're like, hold on, what is that?
No,
But
I
then
thought of it.
Yeah, and see, you got it.
No, I thought of it immediately.
See, yeah. Don't
It's
think
the
of
little dust balls, if you ever wanted to know. The ones that, like, have a moment and then they leave. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. Watch Totoro, please.
I haven't seen it.
I hate you. Don't talk to me.
Don't think about your favorite Disney princess.
Is that Coke? No, that's a needle. Okay.
Don't think about your favorite Disney princess.
Okay. Needle, right?
Yeah, needle.
Okay. I thought it was a line of Coke.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
I know!
Don't think about your favorite movie.
Okay.
Don't think about my feet.
Oh no, I was wondering what the hell that was.
The toenail clippers?
No, the thing.
The gong?
Is that a gong?
You're the one in the hat, right?
No.
The drum key.
Is that what that is?
Next to the toenail clippers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's stupid though. If I was to say, I spy with my little eyes something red. Don't think about what I spy. Because at that point I've already kind of got you thinking about it before I said it. So that's cheating too. It's not really cheating. Because I could say, yo, think of a giraffe. Don't think of that giraffe turning into a tree. There you go. It's whatever. Don't think about you being able to fly.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now, don't think about what you think is the coolest superpower.
Okay.
Now, don't think about the coolest superpower.
Okay.
Okay. What are you thinking about?
The time.
Don't think about the time. Okay, don't think about orange juice.
Orange shoes?
Orange juice.
No, I was thinking about how
Don't think
weird
about
that looks.
shoes.
Look how weird that looks.
You're just turning in your legs.
My knees are straight.
I see that, but you're just turning in your legs, like the rest of your legs.
That's not supposed to happen.
It's no different from like when people do the foot facing one way thing. It's way easier when you're a kid though. And it looks cooler when you wear shoes. And you face as frontward as possible.
I'm done. Jet having difficulty? Me, I'm done.
I don't know, they can't see either of our feet. That one seemed easy.
You know that's what ballerinas do, right?
It seems familiar. I made that one simple. Even though it's facing the weird direction.
Okay, I have difficulty.
Wait, what were you doing differently before?
Switching which side you're doing it?
Oh, you're trying.
Hey. Do. Okay, so you can do one side. Pick foot. Okay. So you pick that foot. Now put that foot behind the other foot. Go with the other one. You're supposed to do heel to toe. And then toe to heel. It's harder going the other way because you were used to going one way to the other. It looks like he's doing a dance move. Can you do this?
Oh, turn my feet back? Yeah.
Can you do the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, she's really. That was really easy.
Yeah.
Pre-game. Oh, it's 10 minutes in. Stay tuned for.
What kind of?
Okay, hey guys. Right now I'm chilling out with
Me.
and
Yo.
we just watched Kill Bill,
Volume 1.
Volume 1. So, let's start with Jonathan's thoughts because he has not seen this prior to today.
I thought it was pretty good. The animated bit threw me off. I didn't mind it. It was pretty nice. It's just that there were so many different styles going on in the movie at varying points. It's just not expected. That's a good thing though for this one. It pulled it off really well. The soundtrack is really good. If you ever see any cheesy cutscene that lasts like 7 seconds, that's not a Vine. It probably came from this shit.
Yeah, there's so many fucking memes that are made from this movie. It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Cause like I was going through the movie when I was watching it with Daniel, and I was like, I know this shit. I've seen this shit. Whoa, I've seen this too. And it was like, it was just a cool thing to watch, especially when you like, when you're going through a movie that you've like never seen before, and you're like, I've heard of this. This is like a thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I always like noticing those.
So yeah, I'd also gotta give it top notch for the soundtrack. I really enjoyed it. Tarantino did a lot of good cinematography choices in his shots. Keep in mind, this is coming from a guy who doesn't personally care for Pulp Fiction. Like, on my list of movies that people say are really good but you can skip, Pulp Fiction is on that list for me.
Is that the only Tarantino movie that you've seen? Other than this?
I'm not I don't think Men with the Iron Fist is Tarantino. I think that's Wu-Tang Clan. I think they made a movie, which is weird.
You haven't seen...
Django, no.
You haven't seen Django Unchained?
No.
Holy shit, man.
Let's see.
That's a great movie. That's better than this. Actually, no. Ooh. No, it's pretty damn good.
There are a lot of scenes in
Have
this
you seen Django?
that are really good and
Django?
iconic.
Yeah, see, it's good, isn't it? It's like really fucking good.
The hallway scene is really good. When they're walking down and they're playing the music. I think Tarantino's really good at making walking scenes with songs. Because I haven't even seen Reservoir Dogs, and I want to watch it only because looking back on the track for a little green bag. Like that one scene with those guys walking is enough for me to be interested in the film. And Kill Bill has a walking scene like that, where and I think this may have been the first thing to ever do that. That's very overused now. But that's really interesting to think if he really did it first. He does a lot of cool doll shots where the inside of an infrastructure is set up like a dollhouse and he can just pan over from room to room. I thought that was really sharp. He does the Pulp Fiction thing where it's out of order, but he doesn't do the Pulp Fiction thing where it's a bunch of separate stories.
No,
but he does kinda when he does the origin story of the Asian chick. I feel like it was executed better. Did it have to be out of order? No.
It wasn't necessarily out of order. I think
it was out of order.
It was like just mostly flashbacks.
Yeah.
She was narrating it.
Out of
So
order.
Anytime a movie has a flashback that's out of order,
They were chapters. It was split into chapters. And
that
chapter
were
1 was
flashbacks.
2. And it said it. Chapter 1's title was 2. And it's the second kill on the list. Like,
because it
spoilers.
made sense for it to come first.
No, it didn't.
It really did.
You literally could tell the story like this very linearly, except for the one thing that's like a legitimate flashback. That's the origin story for the Asian chick.
But how boring would that be?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't.
would
I watched
be
the
pretty
same fucking
damn
movie.
But it would be in an order that, okay, fine, why didn't the Star Wars movies come out in the correct order?
I don't think George Lucas knew what he was going to do for everything, for real.
But it made it more
He kind
interesting.
of worked on it, not necessarily.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Anakin was a bitch.
I don't know.
I had more appreciation.
Luke is a whiny bitch, too.
I had more appreciation
Okay,
for Darth Vader.
topic. But, I mean, because you at least have to give him credit for taking something that, like, movies, they're so basic, like, the basic beginning to end. That gets really boring, and then he took it and went, nah.
No.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything for the movie that made me go, oh damn, it was in this order. Like, you can do it in a way that makes you go, wow. Like, multiversity, like Ultra Comics. I brag on Ultra Comics #1 a lot because it's a circular comic. It's a
Do you
comic.
want Kill Bill to be in a multiverse?
No, multiversity is the name of a book.
Okay.
It's a circular comic where when you read it all the way from like the beginning to the end, it goes back to the beginning. But it starts in a way to where like, what are you talking about? And then you have to read it a second time for you to catch it and be like, oh, that's what I was talking about, oh shit. But Kill Bill didn't do that for me.
The Sixth Sense is like that, and it's not, I mean, and you only knew it because you'd seen the end. You only didn't get that experience because you saw the end. And you were like, eh.
And like Sixth Sense
But
was alright.
then why?
Because Kill Bill didn't do anything by being non-linear. Welcome, Ray. Right now we're talking about Kill Bill. We just watched it.
Which is one of the best Tarantino movies. I can't decide if it's my favorite.
I mean, it was good. It was really good.
I've never watched it. I was just wondering if you already done the moving in thing.
So badass.
Not yet.
Oh.
We're gonna do that tomorrow.
Alright.
With the paper thing where I like fill out everything.
Alright, yeah.
I won't be here tomorrow.
Do I need all of you guys to like sign together? I don't know how this works.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I thought y'all had already worked this out.
No.
But
I don't think it'll be a problem. Like, y'all know I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Hannah, you're a third witness.
okay.
Huh?
I was just wondering if y'all had worked it out. And did you make sure to get to your 2 o'clock thing?
Oh yeah, thank you by the way for that text. I wanted to thank you in person.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
And I got the points that I wanted, so I'm glad.
Yeah, good for you, man.
When are y'all free tomorrow? I have between like 10 and 11:30.
I'm free after like 11:30.
I'll just eat lunch early then.
Oh, probably after 2 o'clock.
Alright, I'm probably gonna be gone. But,
Oh.
Are you going to a family thing?
my sister's doing a play.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, flapping it.
But yeah, I was just saying how that progressed to see if you were still, you know.
Yeah.
Alright. But I actually told some people I'll watch a movie with them, so
Okay.
see y'all later.
Peace, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jessica Jones is now on Netflix. I'm really excited. Watch Jessica Jones on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's going to be really amazing.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, we were talking about Kill Bill. Yeah,
Well,
Kill
I'll see you
Bill's
later.
out of order arrangement. Have a great night.
See you.
Ain't shit
Peace.
because it didn't do something for the movie that made it a better movie. It was just out of order.
It took the typical A, B, C, D format and made it a lot.
If it doesn't do anything for your movie,
It
then
did
it's
something
just a
for it.
It
thing.
actually did because it made it more interesting because it's
Non-linear is not
non-linear.
enough. That's
Guess
not
what?
enough.
Fuck you. It was better for that, and only really Tarantino knows how to do that well.
There was no need
If he
for
did
it.
something, who cares if it's done well? There's no
What do
need
you
for like
mean?
decorations in a house.
No, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't done well because it didn't do anything. There was no message for it to be out of order. Like, you know what are really good out of order movies? When you see like a really high action point and then it cuts away and then you're like, what the fuck was that? And then slowly you get closer and closer and it keeps reminding you of that high action point until bam, the high action point actually hits and it's not even the real high action point. Like, for that you're creating anticipation and suspense. Like, that has a thing. For a circular film, where it's like, oh man, it was out of order, but then if you watch it the second time, it's like, whoa, you get all this new stuff out of it because it was set up to be somewhat circular in your watching experience. That adds more to your movie. But all Kill Bill did was put the events out of order. I don't feel like if I rewatched Kill Bill, I would suddenly realize new things, because those are things I already
you
realized
went
while watching the
into
film.
the middle of the movie and it made you interested because you're like, oh wow, she's beating up this bitch for no apparent reason and she killed her in front of her child. And then you're like, I wonder why she did this. And then you go back and see why she did it, and now you're at the point where you understand her problem. So then they're going to go into the second movie, which is where you learn why Bill did what he did. And then, in the second half of the second part, you're going to find out who wins.
Yeah.
And that's because it follows your train of thought as you watch it. So, like, as a question is presented in your mind, he answers it.
That's
You
like
start in the
every
middle.
story.
Not
No.
really.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
As a question is presented, a lot of times you have to wait until the very end to figure out everything.
Like,
You start in the middle.
every movie
Exactly.
does that.
Yeah.
If
No,
you
it
hit-
doesn't.
At the beginning of the movie, you'll have like a nigga, and you'll be like, what is the importance of said nigga? And then some shit will happen to the nigga, and it's like, oh, this nigga's gonna go on an adventure. I wonder what happens on this nigga's adventure. And then you follow the nigga on the adventure, and then you figure
You
out
follow
what
it
happens
in a
to him.
linear path.
Just because it's non-linear doesn't make it good. Your argument can't
You're
be
not-
that it's non-linear.
You're
Yeah,
not
like
listening to
anything.
what I'm saying. Like, and it's not. Whatever. I don't care anymore.
Alright, so because the end of this movie pretty much happened first, the end chronologically, that was your second hit. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, alright? What Hannah said earlier, you're wondering what the fuck's going on with all this shit. Then it explains it to you, so like, oh, now I know, and at that point you're committed.
No, I disagree.
Now, and the second fight wasn't as, because it happened between her and one person, it wasn't a good point to leave you at a cliffhanger so you go watch the second movie. Like, if it ended with her fighting the black chick, you'd be like, eh. After she fought the crazy 88, who gives a shit anymore? It's just like, that's not a good way to end a movie. A good way to end a movie is right there. And it makes sense because she had to go to Okinawa first and get the sword, and so she could kill all these people and do what she wanted to do. And why would she go back to America to fight a black chick first and then go back to Japan to fight the crazy 88?
Well,
So it just made sense to do it out of order.
if you ended on the second kill, it'd be meh. It's like, oh, here's an afterthought that'll take 10 minutes.
Did she even use the sword at the beginning? No. So it didn't even matter. She could have fought the black chick first. That was Quentin Tarantino's choice to make her go after Asian girl first.
Asian girl was the easiest to find, though.
That's what she said.
What?
She
Yeah.
said Asian
Black
chick was...
bitch was the easiest
No,
to find.
in the beginning
In
of
the
the
suburbs?
movie. In the fucking beginning of the movie, she said, I came after Lucy Liu first because she was the easiest one to find because she's a big important person now. The black chick was just some humdrum lady who lived on the corner of a street.
Which would make her easier.
No, it would
No.
not.
Oh, hold on. Stay tuned for more content. Jonathan is about to finish doing laundry. Okay.
No, I'm slaying dragons. That's what I'm doing. I was like halfway through, and then Kill Bill became a thing. So I was like, Dragon, I'll see you later. That bitch still be waiting outside.
He's like, I wonder if it was good. I would listen to the soundtrack. I definitely would give that like another listen. If you ask me, would I rewatch Kill Bill? I feel like I would eventually. Does it demand like a rewatch immediately afterwards? I could sit through Kill Bill again, like if we were to watch it again. But I'm not sure if I'd really want to. I don't think it calls to me in the same essence that like Watchmen did.
Well, I don't ever want to watch a movie immediately again. Like, it's not something I want to do.
You may not have just seen like the best movies ever.
Or you watch shitty movies and like to watch them over and over and over again, because that's my opinion.
Says
of
the
what you're
person
saying.
who loves Kill Bill for its non-linearity, for
Says
the
the person
apparent
who
reason that it's
doesn't
somehow
appreciate-
more interesting.
So it's the person who doesn't appreciate anything at all. Like, you were sitting there through the whole movie just whining about it. Pretty much all you did, man.
I critique.
You whined about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think that there's been a movie that we've watched, and like, I've shown you, like, movies that millions upon millions of people enjoy, and you're like, nah, I really just don't think you like good movies. I mean,
like, I don't know. There are a lot of things that a lot of people enjoy because of the time it came out. And then there are a lot of things that a lot of people enjoy.
this came out like
Because-
12 years ago. It's not, like...
I'm not calling out Kill Bill for the time it came out. I'm calling out, like, Forrest Gump. And I liked Forrest Gump. But I feel like Forrest Gump hit harder in its own time. And then...
But that was still a pretty recent movie.
So...
In
and
its
then-
own time. We
Yeah,
are
its
in the
own-
time. Like, it's not...
I'm arguing that we're not in the time.
That's
No, I call bullshit on that
Movies
one.
can be like near, but not in the
I
same time.
call bullshit on that one.
And The
no,
Sixth Sense. The Sixth
no.
Sense is alright.
Bruh, 1994, no. Sorry.
Man, that was before you were born.
I know, but it's not long enough for you to be like, I can't relate to it as much. You can so relate to it.
I wasn't like, the bigger difference between me seeing Forrest Gump and my dad seeing Forrest Gump is that my dad is like, oh, I lived through that. Oh, this was like a part of my life experience as growing up. And he can be like, wow, and like pinpoint when things happen.
But like 90% of the people that watched it in 1994 only, like, they were itty bitty kids that didn't really understand. It would be like us watching a 9/11 movie. We wouldn't get it as much as somebody else would. But that doesn't make it a lesser impact of a film. That's just,
Yeah, it does.
sucks to be you grew up later.
See, to me,
That's
that
not-
totally does.
And
Like,
that's why you like shitty movies.
no, like, it makes sense that people, especially for a period piece like Forrest Gump, would relate more if they actually lived during that period. Because one of my big things about Forrest Gump was like, yeah, it was a good slice of life movie, but the like historical references didn't do that much for me. I feel like it could have been just as good of a movie if it had less historical references. Not saying
No,
that it needed to
because
like, take
the
them
whole
all
point
out.
of the movie was that he had such an impact on history.
I
And
don't
that he
feel like
had
that's
such
the
an
point of
impact
the
on
movie.
everybody's life, but he
The
was
point
an
of the
idiot.
movie is the impact on everyone's life.
Which means he had an impact on history. That's like the bigger part of the movie.
It didn't even have
That
to
is
be real
that is
historical
literally, if
events.
you read the description on Netflix, it says, basically, a stupid guy finds his way changing history. It's pretty much what it says.
But that could have
That's
happened
the
in a fictional
entire
context,
plot
and it could
of
have
the
still
movie.
been fine.
No,
Yes.
because it wouldn't have been relatable in the slightest.
It would have.
No, it would not.
It could have been in a
How can
realistic
you relate
world.
to a dumb guy going through fictional events that didn't actually happen in the past? You wouldn't know anything about it. They'd have to explain everything. There'd be so much back, like,
Isn't that like
context.
every fictional movie, though?
Not
and you
really.
don't have to explain
A
everything.
stupid guy changing the entire course of history that you're supposed to be able to relate to and grow from? Nah. No, that is not every fictional movie. Every fictional movie.
Nah, I'm saying every fictional movie has its own like history built in, and you like learn it as you go.
Sort of.
Sort of,
Not.
but yeah.
No.
Like in Jurassic Park, it exists in a world that's similar to ours, but there are fictional elements.
It
Harry
exists
Potter,
in
a
our-
world that's similar to
no.
ours, but with fictional
When Michael
elements.
Crichton wrote that book, it was supposed to be our world. It wasn't a separate world from ours. It was Earth, this dimension, in like 1992.
That's all fictional things that are put into like a realistic fiction category.
But you just
They're-
said that it wasn't our Earth.
They're all
It
similar.
was.
You can't call it our Earth in any fictional context, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can.
No,
'Cause
because in
it
real
is.
world there is no Jurassic Park. That's what I'm getting at. I'm
He was
getting at
saying our world
it's
will have a Jurassic Park, and he's kind of right. We're already doing that shit.
it's a possible world kind of thing.
It's
Which is the same as saying a similar world.
no.
Now you're hanging on terminology. The point of what I'm
But you're
trying
wrong,
to say is
like-
they all have their own embedded history and story.
But
that you
Jurassic
gotta
Park
follow
like
and
had
learn.
no embedded history because it was our history.
It's not our history.
It is our
The
history.
details of the Jurassic Park film.
Name one.
Name one, my nigga. The park doesn't exist. We don't have
It's not
dinosaurs
history.
in the
That
park.
was the present. You're talking about the
It's
like.
the present of the movie, which is still its
Yeah.
own history.
That's
Just like
not a history. If it's the
Forrest
present.
Gump is the present of its own continuity.
You're not making sense.
That
bro.
does make sense.
You're really not making.
You
sense.
gotta think of movies as existing within like a space that's similar, but not the exact same as Earth.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. That's
No,
the
you
whole
fucking
point
don't.
of it being a movie that's not real. At the end of every movie, it's like any resemblance to real or like people or whatever is just coincidental, and the whole point of them doing that is to be like, yo, this movie takes place in the not real world, man. It is
That's
just similar
not-
to the real world.
No, because when a director makes a fictional film set on Earth, they want you to imagine yourself in that same, like,
They do.
you. Yeah.
I agree.
Up until, like, Jurassic Park, they had the exact same history as this Earth. Like, the exact same
But
history.
the whole movie
But then,
itself
at the
is
time that
not
you were reading the book, there's
the
a point.
history.
No,
And
you're
also,
talking.
there's a bunch of stuff that happens like before the process of the book that also is not our history.
Like what?
them figuring out that the mosquitoes in the amber contain the DNA in order to make the dinosaurs, and all the preparation made in order to make
We've
the park
found
and
that
creating
out.
the containment facilities in order
That's
to hold
all
the dinosaurs.
totally true. Like, we have found dinosaur DNA in the blood of mosquitoes. Like, that's an actual thing. Michael Crichton.
You couldn't
like,
actually use that in order to make the dinosaurs anyways.
it's a very long shot, but it's kind of possible, yeah.
The closest thing to
You
the
have to,
dinosaur DNA
you
thing is like
infuse it with
a
frog
chicken
DNA.
thing.
But it's an incredible long shot, but all of Michael Crichton's books are pretty darn accurate with science.
That particular pinpoint on the mosquito thing is not accurate in science. The
It
idea that you
actually
could
is.
use it to make the dinosaurs.
It actually is. We've
I
done
disagree.
it in smaller animals. It's not something you can disagree about. It's something that we've done. My mom did it in her genetics class. You take DNA that's incomplete and then you fuse it with something else, and that has very similar parts to where it really wouldn't matter. Like, lungs in a frog are lungs in a dinosaur. They're the same thing. They are. And, like, it's the same. Like, the ittiest bittiest things. Like, 99% of our DNA is shared with a monkey. So you can fill up us with 99% monkey DNA. As long as you have that 1%, you're fine.
Well, I need to refresh whatever my sources are. But I've heard from whatever source that the mosquito thing is not a real thing. I was looking at like
Totally
a
real.
Jurassic Park's facts kind of thing or whatever. And it's like, in reality, the mosquito blood thing wouldn't work, and they give some explanation for it.
Totally real.
But again, the whole point of like that whole tangent is that movies don't take place in the real world. They take place in similar worlds.
But they're supposed to take place in the real world.
It's not the point.
That's
Like
totally
a
the
full
point.
real world movie is nonfiction. A fictional movie, by definition, takes place in a similar possible world. Does that make more sense?
But it exists on our exact Earth with, like, one change. If you're talking about the present time changes in the slightest, it would be like if Jurassic Park happened. So, like, the second... So, like, if you're sitting reading the book, and you get to the part where they synthesize the dinosaur, at that moment, they start talking about where you are now and in the future.
I'm still
That's
gonna
how I
say
imagine that.
that you're incorrect on that. I have like more arguments. Like, all the characters in Jurassic Park aren't real. And then it's like,
They could be.
but they're not.
How do you know?
Because they're not.
How do you know?
Because Malcolm is not real, and like Professor, whatever the fuck his name is,
What if
is
they're
not
based
real.
on people?
They're not. I already covered that base at the end of every movie. It's like, any relation or likeness to real or fictional people is unintentional or just coincidental.
There's none of that in...
That's at the end of every film.
No, it's not.
Pull up Kill Bill and go to the very end of the credits.
Just because it's
It's-
on one doesn't mean
It's
it's on
every
everyone.
film.
No, it's not.
That's such a basic thing. At the end of like all movies, it's like, all characters or locations are all coincidental and not meant to reflect real people. Now, like a non-fiction film, that's kind of working like a documentary or like an actual storytelling, those are excluded because the whole purpose of them is to tell like the real life story or like a true account. But for fiction, it's automatically set
There's no
in the
completely
possible
non-fictional
symbol.
movies, though.
I agree with that, but the point is to try and be accurate.
The
So
point
it
of a
doesn't
science
count.
fiction movie is to try and be accurate. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I feel like not all science fiction is really like pushing to be as accurate as possible. A good example would be like Rick and Morty. That's not really what they're going for, but they're still science fiction.
Yeah.
And there you go. But yeah, I mean, I feel like when you walk into any fictional context or fictional film, you have to accept that it is a similar possible world. If it's going into fictional realism, and even if it's just like a fiction movie, it's like a similar possible world, but it's not our world.
Nah, when I watch a movie, I completely put myself in it.
Well, that's fine. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's still not the history of actual history. I don't care
why
how
do we
close
care about
it
this?
is. That's always a good question when you're having like an argument about whether or not it actually matters.
Because I'm kind of getting annoyed because I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't.
Whatever.
I mean, I forgot why we.
I know, like
I really don't care anymore.
I kind of know where we came from. You want to watch Jessica Jones?
Not really. I'm tired.
No, okay. Aw, I don't want it to end saltily.
But no, I feel like if you thought that the historical parts of Forrest Gump could be omitted, you didn't get all that you could have out of the movie.
I didn't. That's what I was saying. I was saying that
But
people
I'm
from
saying,
earlier generations would get more out of it.
no, because I got so much more out of it than you did.
But I still feel like my dad got more out of it than I would.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, just because you didn't get everything out of it doesn't mean that, like, somebody your age wouldn't.
I don't know, I'm not
Like,
arguing
my
against
dad
you.
really doesn't like the movie. And he thinks it's kind of just boring.
Well, it's a slice of life film. You gotta be, like, kinda into that premise already.
Well, I mean, my dad being
Oh,
the
we're
guy
like
that
15 minutes
watches
in.
Lifetime movies.
Okay.
I mean,
Stay tuned for. But yeah, you said that your dad didn't like it, but he likes like Lifetime movies. Forrest Gump.
yeah, but just because you didn't doesn't mean that, like, an entire generation would get less out of it.
Well, my argument isn't that like, well, no. Okay, I disagree with that last statement. I do feel like people from our generation get less out of the film. But at the same time, I'm not saying that people in our generation can't enjoy it. I'm saying that I personally didn't get the parts of it that were historical references as hard as like my dad would. It's not that I was oblivious to them. I understood like the Watergate scandal and the Elvis stuff and Apple computers and all the different references that they threw in, Vietnam War, but it didn't really matter to me though. It didn't hit hard enough for me to care.
I don't think it matters how much you actually lived through, because your dad may have lived through the Civil Rights Movement and all that stuff, because, like, my parents were born in, like, I think 66, so my parents didn't really live through that, but my parents lived through Reagan being shot, and they lived through Elvis Presley's death, and, all that other stuff, like, and I think it has more to do with how empathetic you are, because just because you lived when it happened doesn't mean that you actually give a shit.
I mean, true.
I think it has to do with how empathetic you are, because if you weren't really there, you're still somewhat disconnected, and I don't think it matters if you're disconnected by years or if you're disconnected by, like, a few miles. If you don't care, it doesn't matter. Or if you care slightly less than somebody else. Because then you're just splitting hairs. And it just depends on how empathetic you are.
I don't know. I feel like I disagree with the whole idea that the amount of disconnect doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
I feel like it does.
You
Or
could-
else like it wouldn't even be a factor in like thought ever. Like, amount of disconnect totally matters. There's a big difference
Why?
between, like, I know about the Titanic and people died in the Titanic, but I have, like, no relation to people who died in the Titanic.
Neither does anybody else on the face of this earth. They're all dead.
Well, I mean, now. But I mean, let's say I had a relative who died on the Titanic. I could have been told stories by, like, my parents about, like, your great-great-great-grandma or whatever died on the Titanic, and I would have, like, a more personal connection to the Titanic. And, like, an even closer connection, let's say, it was farther back in time, like, instead of our conversation being the present, it'd be, like, years ago.
But
And it's
somebody-
like, oh, my grandma died on the Titanic, or even farther back, my dad died on the Titanic.
But somebody
You would have a
who's-
bigger connection.
But somebody who's like way more empathetic than most people, like me for example, I mean, you still have the same feelings. Because you suffer, like, with empathy, if you watch like a war movie, you suffer with the people who die. If you hear about, you know, like, bad things going on in the world, you suffer with those people that are going through those injustices. That's not really to say that, like, you're actually suffering and that you should, like, get any credit or anything for living through it. But you can be very, very, very empathetic and still have a strong connection because it hit you hard. So, like, the people who are in the really big into the NAACP organization, a lot of them who are younger, a lot of them are probably getting shit from the older people, being like, you didn't march in Selma, but that doesn't give them any less credit for fighting for their rights as an African American. And it shouldn't matter. You know what I mean?
I don't know, I feel like that was a really big political step between us talking about, like, media and culture and
But
going,
that's the
like,
only
directly
parallel I
into
can think
culture.
about.
Then, I don't know, that seems kind of extreme, is what I'm saying. Or we
Well, you come up with a better one. I
come up with a better one? Okay, so our
didn't
current...
really mean it literally. I don't want to hear it.
Ah.
Really tired of laundry.
Well, did you have a good day other than that?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
I slept through a lot of it.
Oh, okay. What was I thinking about? Guess I'll watch Jessica Jones later. I'll do English today
Hooray.
at some point. Got psychology today.
Is Jonathan coming back?
Yes.
Okay.
Jonathan's stuff is here.
Okay. We should do that.
Let's see. Huh. Have you watched Archer?
Like 5 minutes of it, and I thought it was disinteresting. So I changed channel.
Let's see. I don't think you like Louis. And you said you have seen, like, at least some of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
What's your opinion on that?
I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's pretty funny, but it's like I wouldn't really. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it.
What are 3 of your favorite films, not all in the same series?
Films?
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite movie. And then I'm not gonna talk about Harry Potter because the books were better than the movies. Jurassic Park. The first one, which is, in my opinion, the only one worth watching. And Good Will Hunting. Maybe not in that order.
So I have not seen It's a Wonderful Life or Good Will Hunting.
It's a Wonderful Life is, you know, the Christmas thing that everybody talks about, like, I wish I wasn't born.
Is it the
And they give you a
shot
look
eye
about,
thing?
huh?
No, I'm sorry.
No, that's A Christmas Story.
Okay.
It's the one where, like, the angel comes down and then he's like, well, I'll give you a chance to look at what it would be like if you were never born. And then they're like, oh, I love my life. They were the first ones to do that, and it's a black and white film. It's a really good movie. And Good Will Hunting, I tried to watch it with you guys, but nobody would listen to it.
I remember that. That's the mathematician one.
Yeah, and it's one of, in my opinion, it's Robin Williams' best movie.
And that's when Hannah brought in the helium machine with the glow-in-the-dark balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'd say my favorite films are The Other Guys, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Really?
Yeah. And there's another movie that's done very similarly to the style of Fantastic Mr. Fox, but I guess I wouldn't count that as my favorite because it seems to only be one of the movies I enjoy because it's so similar. And then Meet the Robinsons was one of like my favorite kid style movies, but I feel like it's slowly dying. Like it's not as prominently good as I remember it. I feel like I'll get older and Meet the Robinsons will be okay.
No, it's still perfect. I love that movie.
And then I don't know, like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies are alright, but I don't feel like they should actually go in my favorites category. I mean, I watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight pretty religiously, and there's definitely a lot to get out of them, but I'm not sure they qualify to be favorite films or not. I'm trying to get like a definitive third. Oh, Gremlins. Yeah, Gremlins is one of like the movies that I rep pretty hard. And those would be like my top 3 movies. The Other Guys is a movie that's not filmed out of order, like non-linearly, and it still took me a while to fully understand the plot of The Other Guys. I watched it multiple times just to figure out what the case was about. The movie itself is great comedic wise. I like the soundtrack. I enjoyed Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg are like my favorite comedic duo, and they're doing a movie soon where they're like original father versus stepfather, and I'm very excited for that. I feel like it's my favorite buddy cop movie. I don't like the Bad Boys films. I don't for real. My brother freaking loves those. But The Other Guys being a parody of buddy cop films, but in the process being a really good buddy cop film, is amazing.
I'm really not a fan of like movies that have like those type of names. Like movies like buddy cop film, sports inspirational films, or like movies that have a typical way of movement. Like, they bore me to tears. To this day, the only sports film that I will watch is Southpaw. And that's because it's not about the sports.
Tango and Cash, if I'm remembering the name right, is a good buddy cop film.
Like, I didn't even like 21 Jump Street.
It's not Other Guys.
No, but like, I mean, I don't know why I've never been a fan of like movies that have a basic name. You get what I mean?
You're saying that you don't like, well, before I say that, how do you feel about Phineas and Ferb? Okay. And I can't use my other example because you don't watch it, or you haven't watched it. But yeah. Now, how would you rate Phineas and Ferb?
I mean, it's funny. So they had that going for it. Honestly, I thought Phineas and Ferb and Candace, like, I hated their stuff. But I enjoyed Perry and what he did. So for that, I'd give it like a 6.
What if Perry alone was like the show?
I mean, then I feel like it would be like an Adventure Time kind of like campy, like just really goofy. I feel like it would be like if Gunther had his own show on Adventure Time. So 7?
A 7?
It's
Out
still
of
not.
10?
Yeah, and I'm being generous. Like I'm being really generous.
Yeah, like,
It wouldn't have a point. Like there would. Nah.
like, from what I was getting from you earlier, it was that you don't really like formulaic things. You don't like it where someone can say, oh, it's a romantic comedy, and that means
But
that this,
if
and
it
this
is
is gonna happen.
formulaic, there has to be something that they either have to recognize in the movie that it is formulaic and poke fun of it, or there has to be something that they do that's interesting enough for me not to care about it being formulaic.
Okay, what does what do the, oh my goodness, 14 minutes? Stay tuned for. So, what did the Perry the Platypus segments of Phineas and Ferb do for you in either of those categories that you provided? One of them being that it pokes fun at the formula, or in the second one being that it does something so interesting that you don't care that it's formulaic.
It pokes fun at its formula. It's so goofy. Like, the spy movies, like, I mean, they poke fun at James Bond. And, like, kind of Indiana Jones in a way. Like, he has the fedora, and he has, like, the big screen with, like, the guy talking to him, your mission to accept it. It's like, they know, like, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like, oh, we got a new idea, but we're going to do it the same way everybody else does it.
I feel like you would have probably enjoyed 21 Jump Street more if you had watched the old 21 Jump Street, because they are kind of like poking fun but playing homage to.
I actually appreciated that, but it was like, it wasn't, I didn't enjoy 21 Jump Street, not because it was necessarily formulaic, but it was boring. Like, it was genuinely boring. I mean, it was funny, kind of, but it was, I don't know, it wasn't funny enough for me to be like, oh, it's okay that it's formulaic and that, you know, they're, it's just, I don't know, it was just, it wasn't a good movie. And, Noah, what's it, who is the guy?
The big guy?
Yeah, he wrote the movie. And he even said, he like shat it out. Like, he even said, he's like, this is not something that I appreciate.
Hill?
Jonah Hill. I always want to call him Noah. I think it's probably because they're both biblical names and I get their stories mixed up because they both involve a lot of water.
It's probably the Ona part.
Yeah. And, but even Jonah Hill was like, these movies are not things that I'm necessarily proud of. But like, and he's a great writer. I think he helped write The Wolf of Wall Street, didn't he? I think Jonah Hill. I'm pretty damn sure. I know he was in it. Let me look him up.
22 Jump Street, I think, pokes more as a parody. You may enjoy that more simply because it pokes fun at the fact of what it is.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it more because they talked openly about how shitty the movie was. And at the very end, they talked about, like, 25 Jump Street.
Yeah,
These
how the
six
formula
ship-
would keep jumping.
I thought that was funny because they openly admitted, hey, this is a bad idea, so we're gonna do it.
There actually are a good few movies that have come out recently that people have like taken a shit on, but they actually weren't that bad. Like Hot Tub Time Machine 2. If you really liked the first Hot Tub Time Machine, I think it actually is worth you checking out the second one.
He didn't help write Wolf of Wall Street. He wrote for Saturday Night Live though.
And then Pixels was good. Even though Pixels got a lot of hate, if you actually watch Pixels, that was well done.
I think the reason Pixels got so much hate was because of Adam Sandler.
But Adam Sandler movies, like, they get a lot of hate, but they're pretty
Yeah, they're
good.
alright.
Like, Happy Gilmore was good, and so was 50 First Dates, and Grown Ups wasn't, like, the first one, it wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. I mean, it was entertaining. I don't know if I'd buy it, but, like, you know, it was good. And he was in Spanglish. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's like a serious movie, and it was really good. I mean, that's just to name a few. But
We're still good.
at the same time, I still don't think I would watch Pixels because the plot just seems.
I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. That's the point.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's like my kind of. I don't know.
Oh.
And like, I love Peter Dinklage. But even my love for Peter Dinklage would not make me go see the movie.
I still can't get over his last name. Every time I hear it.
Peter Dinklage?
Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's the most badass Game of Thrones character. It's
I
just
know, right?
insane. But, yeah. So, yeah.
Oh. What are your top 3 movies, Jonathan?
My top 3 movies?
Yeah.
Pokemon 2, Mewtwo Returns.
Oh.
Pokemon 2.
I gotta make that stipulation.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
not really.
I made that stipulation earlier. They can't be of the same series, any of them.
This is hard. Does a trilogy count as one movie?
That. Oh,
I guess, yeah.
It's fine for you to do that as long as it's just one entry in like your list.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you can just say that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh shit, what was that one movie called?
Even.
Lost,
Sorry, go ahead.
Lost in Translation.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, even if you didn't like the Lord of the Rings plot, they're just beautiful movies.
What's after Lost in Translation?
What's after Lost in Translation? There's
Jonathan is currently thinking about his
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. I've
Really?
actually never seen Spaceballs or Lost in Translation.
You're not missing much with Spaceballs.
I like it just 'cause it's funny. It was my childhood movie, so I'm not gonna
It's
turn
very
it
funny,
down.
but it's like,
There's no like real quality in it. It's just comedy.
it's not my favorite Mel Brooks movie. My favorite is Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's good.
That's my favorite one. Just because Carrie Elwes is like Carrie Elwes. And he was the Princess Bride. And yeah,
I haven't seen Robin in Tights.
it's pretty good.
It's ridiculousness.
It's even more ridiculous than Spaceballs. And I didn't think that was a thing that could happen, but it's worse than Spaceballs.
I like airplane style humor, and I feel like that's not done a lot in modern movies.
It's done in Men in Tights. Like Ye Old Playboy in Braille. Do you remember that?
It's been a while.
The blind butler is like reading a Playboy in Braille, and he's like just feeling up this girl's boobs on like a stone magazine. It's hilarious.
We should watch it as a group.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And let's see.
don't like the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yet again, he only likes shitty movies.
Hannah's salty as fuck due to earlier conversation.
Because you only like shitty movies.
What movies does he like?
Shitty movies. Like,
My top 3 that I gave to Hannah were The Other Guys, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and Gremlins.
Gremlins is okay.
Have you
okay,
seen the other
notice how
2?
you said Gremlins is okay.
It's a one shot.
Yeah, I mean...
It's like my favorite Christmas movie / like mini monster movie. Mini monster being like critters is like another category for mini monster movie. They're not like giant monsters and they're not like the Thing. They're like little imp kind of things that fuck with people.
My only issue with Gremlins, you can't feed them after 12 a.m.
Which
So that's
is
all the
arbitrary.
damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's what I was thinking. I was like, when can you feed them? What? And it's like, it's not a bad movie, but if it's your favorite, bruh, that's like, that you're missing out on so much.
Like,
Cause like, movies aren't just about story, it's art. And that's
Okay.
not really art.
don't worry, you guys can stay tuned
No, I'm not arguing with that. Sorry, it's just not good art.
I know it sucks.
I didn't say that
You
I
really
hate
did.
Kill Bill Volume
You did.
2.
Yeah, okay, whatever, I don't wanna hear it from you.
I said that it's a boring movie.
That you've never seen. Anyway, it bothers me when people butcher books for the sake of a movie. So like, I haven't read the book, so I'm not going to talk about how they butchered the plot or anything, but they really did not need to make a book that is this big into three-hour movies.
It's not even that big.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. They did it for the money. And that's what bothers me about the movies, but as movies, they're great. But I don't even really care that they're not necessarily canon, but they wasted so much. Like, they could have made it into a 1 3-hour movie, and it would have been probably just as good.
Yeah.
But they would have made a third of the money.
They just added way too much shit.
Yeah. And I need to read The Hobbit eventually, and I really don't know that much about it, but I don't know why, I feel like it's almost a dishonor to the author whenever they change something in a movie, because it's like, your idea is pretty good, but not as good as what I'm gonna do to it.
I mean, I don't know, I think it sort of adds to the
It adds
back and forth.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's how new things work, though. Like,
But it's not a new thing if you're just turning it into a movie. It's,
yeah, it is.
So let's
No,
take
it's
the guy
really
who
not.
created the wheel.
Really not.
Are we doing a disservice to the guy who created the wheel?
Because we put them on cars and bicycles.
But that's not something that is, like, that's an invention to make society better. This is a movie that is developed to get more people to know the story.
Are you saying movies don't have an impact on society?
Not as much as a wheel, bro.
I mean, like, this probably didn't happen, but But no, that's a lie. Like, a lot of robotics and like our movement in robotics are because people were inspired by films like Star Wars and different science fiction pieces in order to move forward with that kind of technology.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Star Trek example, they've already made a holodeck.
But they're not, I'm not saying, like, J.R.R. Tolkien didn't write Lord of the Rings to go get somebody to build a fucking ring that controlled a whole bunch of people. Like, he wrote it so it could be incredibly entertaining for children and they wouldn't have to dumb anything down. Like, it's not made to be improved upon.
Then he also provides some social commentary.
That's not the point.
Uh,
That's not the point of art,
I mean,
anyways. Like,
it's not made to be improved upon.
art changes and moves and form. The
Not
most
really.
like prevalent example of that
But
are
you're
memes. Like that is
not, no.
Yes, that is like the
No,
whole purpose
no,
of what a meme
that's
is.
not what it is, because art changes in movements, but nobody goes back and looks at a Picasso and says, yeah, I'm gonna paint over this.
You
So
could.
there's a South
No, you can't! That's
So-
so illegal.
So there's a South American composer, right?
Yeah.
And he's real big into like taking the mistakes and seeing how they actually work into it from the original shit that's been done over and over again. And by doing this, he can elaborate and potentially make it better. Do you think that's wrong?
Yeah, kinda. Like, I don't understand really what you're saying. Like, he does what? Like,
Alright.
he takes
So-
mistakes out of...
Like misplays. Like, have you ever done a misplay and you're like, shit, that's not the note I was supposed to hit, but it still sounded good. Sometimes it can sound better. And when it does, he would encourage the people that he was directing, or what have you, to keep on with that.
to
To
keep
incorporate
playing a
some
wrong note.
misplays into it.
But if
Wrong.
he's a composer, then he wanted that to happen.
Composer, director, and he was everything.
They're playing music that he
But that's
probably
different
didn't write, I'm
because
assuming.
you
Even
write
like-
music
Yeah.
knowing that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be played the way you want it to be. The point of music is that you're supposed to put your own interpretation on it.
Whoa! But movies don't get that? That
You
messed
are
with
not,
me.
when you are writing, if you take a book and you're like, this would make a great movie, and then you change the story, but keep the name, like, for instance, Jurassic Park, movie 2. It kept the name. It had nothing to do with the book, and guess what? The movie's shit. Everybody hates it. It's awful. And I'm pretty sure that Michael Crichton rolled over in his grave when they made that movie because it was awful, and they thought they could do it better than the person that actually made the universe, and it didn't work.
They don't say that you take a book and you convert it into a film. They say that you take a book and you adapt it into a film. And when you adapt something into a film, a lot of times
Semantics,
you do
ooh.
change it. Semantics,
That's what I'm
ooh.
saying. It's not a good thing to do.
Well, I feel
You
like that's
take
perfectly
a
fine.
book. No, that's
Would you have preferred them to have taken the Avengers comic and like panel for panel made that the Avengers movie? Because you wouldn't have gotten the same film.
they made a completely different. Okay, which comic? There's so many different
heavily
ones.
inspired by the Ultimates line, but it's still not like panel for panel.
No, I'm saying which comic would they pick?
They would
Or
pick
would
an
it be
Avengers.
easier? I know which
Duh.
one.
What do you mean, duh? I just said the Ultimates is what it was heavily inspired by. So they probably, if they were to do panel for panel, they would do the Ultimate series, which is an Avengers
But it's
series
their
in the
thing,
Ultimate Universe.
and they own it, so they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
the
if
writer
somebody,
of the Avengers comic is not the writer of the Avengers movie.
But they give all of their opportunity over to Marvel.
That's what everyone does when they move their thing over.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
You're not getting it.
if you have the rights
You're
to
really
make
not
a
getting
movie, then the people who made the thing gave you the rights to make the movie about it. They gave you the creative power to change it. Oh, Jonathan. Okay, what is your favorite television series?
Bleach.
Bleach?
Yeah.
Bleach is really good. I really like Constantine, but it got canceled. But now it's in the Arrow universe, so I'm kinda happy. And then I'm a big Ben 10 fan. Jonathan squirmed a little bit. Hannah, can you name... Actually, name one more, Jonathan, because I named 2.
One more?
Yeah.
Shit. Another fucking Caillou. He was a fucking pimp.
Hannah, can you name 2 television shows that you really enjoy?
Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones.
Okay, so this is gonna be interesting.
Actually, no, Game of Thrones. It's another thing. I enjoy the television show because it's a standalone television show. Like, just as a show, if I completely disregard the books, but hardly any of it is canon to the books, so it pisses me off. A lot. And I hate it. But I love it. And it's the best show on TV. But it's shit. Because it's not what Martin wrote.
Stay tuned for... Yeah.
He minds too much. I don't think he cares.
He's making money.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty
because
sure
he's
he's
so
alright.
fucking rich, but like, and he doesn't want it to be like the books, and he actually writes the TV show, so that's okay. But I still like what he writes better.
But you
'Cause it's
just
just
said you
better.
wrote both, right?
Yeah.
So you
But
like
he
what
doesn't
he
want-
writes.
I like his individual work better. He writes in a group for the TV show. Because no one person writes a TV show. It's like 6 people. He alone wrote the book. I like him as an individual better than his group work.
I would have to research that personally. 'Cause
Why?
a lot of
You
people
don't
don't
take my
write their
word
own
for it.
books anymore.
He wrote
like
his own book
independently.
by himself.
I would have to look that up. And
Why would you have to look that up? He fucking wrote the book.
James Patterson works with like multiple ghostwriters, and like Stephen King works with like multiple other people. A lot
For one
book. For
Yeah,
one book
but-
with multiple other writers.
Okay, but Game of Thrones was written by George R.R. Martin and George R.R. Martin only.
And no other. See, I don't
No.
know. I don't know enough
Why do you
about
not
it.
know? Because it's only accredited to him. If somebody
James
else
Patterson
helped
books
write the
don't
book,
say James Patterson and 6 other.
not
niggas.
all of his books are written by him and 6 other people, and if they are,
A lot
then
of his
he
books are by
probably
him
isn't
and
that
6
great of an
other
author
niggas.
because he needs so much help. Oh.
He's one of like the really big guys.
Yeah.
I don't really like a lot of his stuff. Maximum Ride, I'm rereading that. I only read the first book to begin with, but I'm rereading the first book. But yeah, like a lot of big names, and Stephen King was the other one. You want to talk shit about that one?
Because Stephen King wrote a book with other people, but he accredited them to it, and that was it. All of his other novels, I've researched him so much because he's one of my favorite authors. He writes at home by himself, and he doesn't even like to be disturbed. And even when he wrote a book with other people, they agreed on a storyline and they each wrote like a third of it. It's not like, oh hey, we're gonna sit down and write the entire book together. So, yeah, I don't know why you felt the need to. Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I can't read lips, Jonathan.
I wasn't saying anything, right?
It just bothered me because you were like, did he really write the book by
'Cause
himself?
I don't
I'm
know.
like, why the fuck? Like, why don't you just believe me? Like,
No, I'm not
I-
doing it to distrust you. It's just I haven't looked it up.
I mean,
But
to be
why do
fair
you
to
need
Jet,
to?
You already fucked up once with your information tonight.
Like what?
When did she fuck up? I know it was one time.
When really?
Chill the fuck
Really?
out, Jonathan. That wasn't cool for you to like do that.
Yeah, no.
Because now it's like.
That's pretty douchey. But like, why would you need like?
Why would you?
George
need-
R.R. Martin wrote the fucking book. Like, it's just not something that you can argue about.
Well, what if
like,
you
that
Googled
bothers
it
me.
and it was like George R.R. Martin works with multiple ghostwriters on his book.
But he doesn't.
It would be a quick Google.
Do you
It would
really?
be like, does George R. R.
Fine.
Martin...
Do you want me to fucking do it?
You
I'm
could.
doing it right now.
I'm leaving.
Alright.
Yeah. Have a great night, Jonathan.
Yeah, you too.
Because... And then I, like, gave an example of a dude who
And
writes
it's
books. People. But in actuality, Jack Kirby, who worked on a lot of the art, also worked on a lot for the longest would not have given Jack Kirby any credit for his participation in the story of the characters, even though he did have a large part in it.
But in that case, you have a comic book writer working for a company and not a guy writing a book working for himself.
For a publishing company.
He didn't work for the publishing company. He wrote the book and then found a publishing company. The
Which
publishers
you then
don't
give your
have...
books
Yeah, and they just publish.
all the way back to his room and then said, "She said that Jonah Hill wrote The Wolf of Wall Street." That was the thing I was gonna say.
I said I
And
thought
then-
he wrote The Wolf of Wall Street, and then I looked it up and said... Yeah, no.
Did I leave anything else in here?
I don't know, did you?
I'm not sure. Oh, are you going to bed for the night, or do you have, like,
I have
work
to
that you're gonna
fold
work
clothes.
on? You're gonna fold clothes?
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I have a 9 o'clock class, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to drive for 3 hours tomorrow.
Have a great night.
You too.
Good night, Jonathan.
Peace, man.
Jessica Jones! I'm amped. So yeah, you guys stay tuned for...
My dick.
Oh dear.
It's taking forever. More